Chargers fans, take a breath. Today feels like a turning point. 4 bombshells are reshaping the plan for Week 1, and none of them are obvious. One hints at extra protection for Herbert, another is a quiet tweak at the core of special teams. There's a surprise on the 53 no one saw coming, and a heavyweight name that might return to the field sooner than expected. Every detail shifts the path to kickoff in Brazil. What call would you make right now? You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, drop a like, and let's jump straight into all the news. It started with an uncomfortable silence. After Tuesday's cutdown, the Chargers didn't claim anyone off the waiver wire. Worse, they watched 3 players get scooped up, including fan favorite running back Raheem Sanders. The reaction was instant. Where's the plan to protect Justin Herbert and reinforce O-line depth? Breathe. The window is still open, and amid the noise, a name with a direct line to Jim Harbaugh popped. Trevor Keegan, the guard waived by the Eagles on Wednesday. Keegan isn't just another OL. At Michigan, under Harbaugh, he finished 2023 without allowing a single sack. That sticks in a head coach's memory and matters when it's time to bet. The NFL sample size is small, true, just 1 game with Philadelphia, but this preseason brought useful signals. Across 52 pass pro snaps, he allowed 2 pressures. Not elite. Exactly the kind of reliable backup efficiency contenders need when the season starts grinding through rotations and demanding fast answers. Why is this so urgent in Los Angeles? Because the puzzle still has a hole inside. The franchise already spent draft capital to bring in Austin DeLucas as a swing tackle, shoring up the edge. The interior needs volume. Keegan offers immediate guard depth, developmental upside, and as a bonus, plug-and-play language. He speaks Harbaugh's grammar, terminology, fixes, cadence. Time is an asset in September. Shortcuts, speed, cohesion. There's a human layer too. The locker room has bought into the new regime's culture, and Michigan ties like Hassan Haskins, kept on the 53, help uphold the standard. Bringing in someone with that DNA lowers noise and raises execution. For fans, it would flip the narrative perfectly. After a day with no new claims and painful losses, answer with a young, inexpensive, coach-approved lineman you can mold. On the field, the impact is direct. More interior protection keeps Herbert's platform clean, lets the OC lean into longer drops, deeper play action, and a stronger intermediate passing game without fear of interior collapse. If a starter goes down, the performance dip becomes manageable, not catastrophic. It doesn't fix everything, but it widens your margin in tight games. It's rare to find a young lineman with upside already tuned to your system. Rarer when the coach who shaped him is 1 call away from convincing the player and the front office that the fit is immediate. If the Chargers want to signal that 2025 isn't a rebuild, it's an aggressive reconfiguration. This is the quiet move that says plenty without a press conference. The next 48 hours are fertile ground, vets released for cap math, and young cuts churned back onto the board. On a roster that needs to harden the pocket before kickoff in Brazil, closing the book without at least taking a swing on Keegan would be, at minimum, missing a low-risk, high-upside window. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. While many were still processing the waiver losses and the O-line suspense, another detail tugged at the fan base's nerves. The Chargers had to adjust a spot that's invisible to most, but absolutely vital: special teams. Naji Harris, the trusted long snapper, was injured in the preseason finale and went straight to injured reserve. Quietly, it felt minor. In practice, it's huge. Without the rhythm of snap, hold, kick, field goals and punts become a coin flip. That's when the front office moved fast and added a heavyweight to the practice squad. Rick Lovato, the longtime Eagle, a 10-year vet with 2 Super Bowl rings and a 2019 Pro Bowl nod. This kind of reinforcement doesn't splash headlines, but it strengthens the team's core. Tim Harbaugh put it this way: the rapport among Dicker, Scott, and the snapper is tremendous, and anyone coming in needs to keep that rhythm. Translation: this isn't about glamour, it's about trust, about automating a mechanism that decides games by 3 points at the horn. And let's be real, how many times have the Chargers dropped games on a kicking detail? Just knowing the new specialist has lived max pressure in January and February, the fan base can breathe. The strategy goes deeper. Lovato isn't just a pat, he brings champion room habits, injecting a winning mindset into a group still defining itself under new leadership. In short weeks or long trips, like the one coming to Brazil, having someone who doesn't flinch on an international stage can be the difference between chaos and discipline. The reaction online was loud. Some said it was overblown to talk long snappers. Others argued that without precision here, special teams can't be consistent. How many times do we have to suffer to value this? One fan posted, "Practically, Lovato has just over a week to sync with Dicker and Scott. Short runway, but his experience reduces risk. His arrival doesn't erase the sting of losing Harris, but it helps ensure the plan against Kansas City won't be sabotaged by execution basics. It won't glow in Sunday's highlights, but it might be the decision that quietly saves wins on a tight schedule." And that still wasn't the wildest twist of the day. If tweaks on special teams already had hearts racing, the next reveal poured gasoline on the fire. 3 undrafted rookies survived final cuts and made the Chargers 53. Amid veterans released, names few expected to see in September earned a spot. That signals the scouting department hit, and Jim Harbaugh is willing to reward performance, not resumes. The first standout is Nico Reed. From camp on, the corner showed a nose for the ball, locking down receivers. But the Hall of Fame game versus the Lions put him under the lights. A jump on Kyle Allen for an interception, nearly housed. The turnover set up a Kamani Vidal touchdown and made it clear Reed wasn't there to be a practice body. He closed preseason with 6 tackles, 4 passes defensed, and that crucial pick. Solid numbers for an undrafted who now has a real chance to contribute in the defensive rotation. Eric Rodgers popped as well. Another corner, he didn't just pick one, he took it back against the Saints. A 43-yard pick six on rookie Tyler Shough. Reed and Rodgers together symbolize a younger, more aggressive secondary, adding depth to a unit that's battled injuries and inconsistency in recent years. The fan base loved it. This is what we need, guys, hungry to prove it. One forum post read. And then there's Marlo Wax, a linebacker who earned public praise from Derwin James. That's not every day. Wax finished preseason with 18 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. He's not walking in as a star, but with Junior Colson on IR, the door is open for Wax to impact special teams and maybe select defensive packages. For a roster long shot, coming out as a functional piece is already a win. Strategically, this points to something larger. 3 undrafteds making it means the staff isn't grading on pedigree but production. It boosts internal competition, creates healthy discomfort, and sends a message to vets: no one has a reserved seat. For Harbaugh, it's his philosophy, lived out pure meritocracy. Beyond narrative, there's practical bite. Reed and Rodgers add flexibility and a slate loaded with explosive wideout matchups. Wax injects juice into special teams, a group that needed renewal. It's cheap, young depth with room to climb. In a hard cap league, those finds can be the difference between middling and playing into January. And while we're still buzzing about this hopeful youth movement, one last update hit on a completely different emotional frequency. If the undrafted twist lit up the debate, the 4th story hit raw emotion. Naji Harris returned to practice. Yes, the running back who scared everyone with that bizarre July fireworks accident stepped back onto the field for the Chargers. Non-contact jersey, still limited but active. And the question exploded: will he be ready to debut in Brazil on September 5? Jim Harbaugh didn't close the door. He said it's a possibility, with caution. The sheer sight of Harris on grass changes the mood. The offense gained juice this offseason, but his absence felt heavy. Now the possibility of seeing Naji lined up against the Chiefs in São Paulo is electric. Strategically, the impact is massive. If Harris is available, the run plan gains a layer of physicality and versatility no one else on the roster brings. Omarion Hampton, a first-rounder, is promising, but throwing the international kickoff on his shoulders as the lead back is a big ask. Harris, even on a pitch count, changes Kansas City's math. He commands respect, forces linebackers to hold, and opens space for Herbert to hammer more quarterful play action. Fans are split. One side pleads for caution: don't rush Harris. The season is long. The other side can't help but dream. Naji touching the field in Brazil, goosebumps. The pressure is real, and Harbaugh will have to balance it. But the suspense alone has become the week's headline. There's a symbolic layer as well. The roster just went through painful cuts and waiver uncertainty. Seeing a star rise back up in practice is a morale boost. It screams resilience. This group can absorb weird adversity and keep charging forward. If Naji isn't ready, Hampton carries the load, and that's not a disaster. The rookie has already flashed. But if Harris is cleared, even for limited snaps, the landscape shifts. Kansas City would have to prep for 2 distinct run styles, the kind of curveball that scrambles defensive rhythm. End of the day, this isn't just a medical update. It's a story that tugs at emotion, shapes the season's narrative, and tightens the bond between fans and team. And when the stage is international, with global eyes on the kickoff, every detail carries playoff weight. So would you roll the dice on Naji in Brazil, or save the debut for later? Chargers fan, look at how the pieces lock in. In a few days, we went from the frustration of waiver losses to spotting new possibilities on the offensive line, a quiet stabilizer on special teams, 3 unlikely heroes on the 53, and finally, Naji Harris back on the practice field. It's a cycle of tension, hope, and direct impact on the prep for the Brazil opener. What does it show? That this team isn't just reacting, it's actively shaping an identity in real time. Every move, big or small, carries strategic weight. Now tell me, which of these 4 hit you hardest? The potential Keegan swing, the veteran steadiness of Lovato, the undrafted trio, or the Naji suspense? Drop your take in the comments, because that debate is our fuel. Smash the like, share with fellow Bolts diehards, and subscribe so you don't miss a beat of the Chargers' 2025 run. Hear its emotion, analysis, and implacable defense of the Bolts every single day.